Welcome to Overwatch, and welcome to another episode of Coaching the Many. This time we're going to be talking about a gold level Pharah, but we're going to be doing it with a sort of a lens over what we're talking about, okay? And the lens that we're going to be covering our eyes with, you know, like wearing a fancy pair of sunglasses, is the idea of doing shit and just being active in the game. Because one of the most common issues I see among lower players, lower ranked players, is just this lack of doing things and being active and being sort of, I don't know, just getting out there, hunting down kills, making sure that you are doing things, building up your ultimate whenever you can get a chance to, dealing damage to barriers, just making sure that you have as little downtime as possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start the VOD, and we'll start running through it, but I'm going to introduce you to the concept of like what I think doing stuff actually means and what not doing stuff actually means as well. Okay, so let's get this show on the road. Let's move these away. So we're on Oasis. There's like a little bit of a background fuzz in the audio, so let's turn that down just for now. We're going to be playing, actually, our lovely, we're going to be playing Pharah, and yeah, we're going to have the pharmacy later on as well to enjoy. Okay, what does doing shit actually mean?
Hello.
Well, the way that I look at it is this, okay? Doing shit is basically, it's the opposite of just doing nothing. And anytime you're doing nothing, it just means that you're standing around and you're not really pushing out, you're not really, you're not dealing damage to anything, you're not shooting anything. You're just sort of waiting for something to happen. And players do this quite a lot, where they'll just wait for things to happen. Now, this isn't to say that there's ever moments where you shouldn't be doing anything. There are moments where you should just be sat waiting for your team to regroup. If you've just been wiped, regroup, don't peek, there's no need to, you're not getting any advantage out of it. Doing shit is more productive and just doing things with a slight purpose to it. And so I think like the easiest example to get confused on would be the example of, you know, everyone just dies, so kill feed is full of all your team, and people will go, huh, okay, well, you know, I'm still alive, so I'm just going to peek out and shoot. Think about it in terms of like, if you're peeking out and shooting during that time, what are you actually accomplishing? Well, you're doing a little bit of barrier damage, maybe. You may be getting a little bit of ultimate charge. But even if you kill someone, you're probably not going to be able to do anything with that. So it's going to be very hard to actually do stuff with that. Hello, V-Logos.
You get the white badge. Yay.
Yay, indeed. Thank you for 6 months. Actually, a lot of 6 months people now. Anyway, we're going to get started. Team lineup is so-so, but it's gold, so let's talk about the team lineup. We do have a Mercy, which is always nice. I believe we're going to get a quick peek. There we go. So our team lineup says a couple of things to me. First and foremost, we cannot take the high ground here. Because if they, I mean, first and foremost, like, this person is gold, but most of these people are still in placements, it seems. So I don't know whether this is from earlier on in the season, or like very early in the season, but still. But the game rating was about 2.4, so hey. We could just assume that the matchmaking was okay, maybe. But this team lineup to me does not scream, let's go and take over the high ground. We can go and take over the high ground. We can go and have a peek and try and get a cheeky knockoff, but odds are the enemy team is going to beat us there. Like, if they have a Lucio, they just take control of that, no problem. But we have a really solid sort of front door lineup where we can just take over the area in front of the point, stay there, shoot onto the point, and do a lot of damage. Junkrat is going to spam away, but will struggle confirming kills, so our job is going to be largely on confirming kills. That's sort of how I would approach this team lineup. Hopefully we won't suck, says the Reinhardt. Or is ease in for a surprise. Now, okay, so we have a peek at the high ground, and this is where I'd say be very careful about overcommitting. Just take a quick look, then we should be looking over onto the point. And this is good, this is doing shit, and like the knock-in, we managed to catch them into the pull. And we have a really nice start here in this game, right? We're shelling out a lot of damage, we've taken the point. And this is already sort of a sign, just with the Pharah, that we could be doing something a little bit more productive. I'm actually just going to let this run for a second or two longer. Just because it kind of demonstrates a nice point about target priority, where you see that this Mercy has been on like below half hit points for the last couple of seconds. Let's go all the way back to the start of this. So we get like a really good start to this fight, okay? We annihilate their Reinhardt. Barrier goes down, Reinhardt gets pulled into the charge. Takes a boatload of damage, we get an easy rocket. Easy kill there. Junkrat goes down, no problem. And now, in terms of like doing shit, just going back to this lens of doing shit, if you think about what actually can threaten us at this point, you know, what can stop us from just being super aggressive? Well, not much really. They have an Orisa, who's not really going to be doing much to us, right? Orisa, who's literally over here. Orisa's not that great at stopping the Pharah. They have a Junkrat, also not that great at stopping the Pharah. Oh god, that's blurry. Ugh. So we can do whatever we like. So we can start putting pressure and start being really aggressive onto their backline, because the worst thing that could happen is Orisa takes a couple of pot shots at us. The second that we come up here, we should be going ding, 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 free kill Mercy on aisle 2. So the fact that we fire 2 rockets sort of towards this Lucio, the Mercy like is not going to be moving. She thinks she's safe because she's behind this wall. She ain't safe because we're Pharah. So she's sort of just cowering back here. We can easily just land a rocket or 2 here, get a good start on the Mercy, because by the time that we change targets, now she's sort of panicked. Like the Mercy's reacting. She's moving like a startled deer now. It's like, oh, something hitting me. And then she's going to dash away in a second now. There we go. But we know that, you know, she can only dash to sort of these 2 targets anyway, so we're actually in a pretty good position regardless. But imagine if we, instead of firing the 2 rockets over this way, just fire 1 more on the Mercy. It would have been enough to sort of get her before she started doing this juking and started bouncing around all over the place. That would be the ideal. Let's go back to normal speed. And during all this time, by the way, that we're trying to hunt down the Mercy, now we're sort of not doing too much and they're starting to reinforce, which is a little bit of a problem. I think our Junkrat goes a little bit insane. And now they're starting to regroup. Mercy's still alive. Net results, we've done very little. And we've done very little of the basis of target choice, basically. Like, we've finally done that, but their team has regrouped, pushed in heavily, and now just started battering people to death, basically. They did an intelligence swap up, I think. I don't think they started with the Tracer, but now they have one. And just flanked our Orisa, killed it, no problem. And that issue of, like, being unable to confirm the kill, I mean, it's an aiming issue, and, you know, I can't say too much on the topic of aiming, aside from practice and get better. I'd say the big thing with Mercies is just try and anticipate where they're going to go, so you understand the limited choices that she can make in this position, right? So we know where she is. We know that the golden beam with joy pointing us over here. Target selection here, there's no point hitting this Orisa because there's 2 supports pumping healing into her. She's a big, easy target, but we just don't have the DPS, we don't have the finishing. Lucio is a lot harder to finish, and especially if the Mercy starts hitting the Lucio, that's a big problem for us. Like, we won't be able to deal with that. So the Mercy is definitely the easier target here. Let's get on that as soon as we can, and then understand that she has to either go here or here. And so we can anticipate around that, basically. And it's just like these 2 rockets especially should have really been going for the Mercy. And there's honestly, like, there's nothing stopping us going even more aggro here as well. Like I said, the things that could stop us are currently dead. So for example, if we just wait here, concussive blast off this wall to close in on the Mercy and drop down even lower, nothing really stops us doing that to get this kill confirmed. And that would not be a bad choice to do it. Is just dive bombing this Mercy. And you'll see this with high level Pharahs, is that they really go in hard when they're trying to confirm a kill on something. If something drops this low, where 1 rocket will finish it, dive bombing in is not necessarily a bad idea. It's a little bit risky, but I think we're safe enough, because nothing here can really stop us. Kaba indeed, Lemonade Senpai. Welcome back with that's 2 months, isn't it? Yes, it is. Beautiful. And so we felt just a little bit hesitant about being proactive and doing things. It's like we just stood there firing back and spamming into a team that was already weakened and already lower. And that's part of why I picked this video for today, was because it was just like literally in the first couple of minutes, it was such a good example of not being proactive and not being aggressive and not capitalizing upon opportunities when we could have done a little bit more of that. As a result, they managed to sort of push in, take the point. We almost knocked someone away. Feels bad, man. We don't manage to get it, but Orisa without support, we should definitely be finishing this off. We get it, nice and easy, fire in the hole. Not really a big concern for us. Wouldn't have hurt to look for that. So we could have just bounced over here, rocketed up, and we know that, like, the tire, it came from this direction, so it's going to be going around that way, right? It's going to be going, like, all the way around the houses into our back line. Because if that gets stuff, then that's a problem. Tracer, their Pharah, like this, welcome to counters, ladies and gentlemen. We're kind of in trouble because they're running Tracer into Orisa. And then this drove me fucking insane. This drove me absolutely nuts. Okay? Fight is lost. We have no team fight anymore. We cannot do anything. We managed to get the Orisa, but two of our team are dead. That's already kind of okay. Well, maybe we should be considering what we're doing here. Anna goes down. This fight is done. This fight is finished. We're looking for a quick pick, and we're looking to get to safety. What we're not looking to do is spend 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35 seconds maybe fighting a Pharah. It's a huge open space, lots of area, lots of play around for the Pharah. There's very little ground to shoot as well. It's very minimal chance that she's going to fly next to a wall. We've just spent this last 30 seconds trying to hit a Pharah that we couldn't even finish off anyway. We could have been doing barrier damage. We could have been looking for a quick pick on something, maybe punishing an overextend. If their Tracer, for example, is trying to get into the backline, we had a Reinhardt complaining that the Tracer's in the backline. Pharah is very good at dealing with Tracer. You land one rocket, Tracer has to recall. Tracer with no recall can't go in as deep, can't do as much anymore. It's been shut down a lot more. And so we can definitely play a big role in dealing with that Tracer. Instead, we just spent 35 seconds dueling a Pharah that we can't really do much with anyway. Like, it's very difficult to capitalize on that opportunity, and this is why I say that Pharah versus Pharah can be a bit of a trap. It's definitely a skill set that should be learned and should be appreciated, but by and large, if you do not want to get hit in Pharah versus Pharah, you can generally juke your way out of it and generally get away from it. I like our priority on that. I think we could have figured this out a little bit better though. Yeah, that was also just a very big example to me of, like, we just spent about 35 seconds not really doing anything. When we could have been helping our backline, helping the push, getting rid of some of these big barriers that are causing us problems, and doing something more impactful in the game rather than trying to get onto a Pharah who will just retreat the second we land a single rocket. I want to go all the way back to the start of this fight, just because I didn't comment on the barrage. This does leave us in an okay position, but you notice like our push in is incredibly slow, and we're just kind of drifting over. And then for some reason we drop the barrage onto the, like, we split our own DPS, which is never a good thing. If you are locking onto that target, you finish off that target. First and foremost, I say that this barrage is just what I would call naked. When I say something is naked, it's just you're just doing it completely on its own. And part of it is just like, it's the embarrassment of being, you know, imagine if you just plopped into the middle of your high school lecture and you're completely butt naked and everyone just turns and laughs at you. That's kind of what this ultimate's like, where we've just popped into the middle of the enemy team, no one's pushing, our Mercy's somehow fallen off the map. I don't know. Mercy's dead, which is bad. Our team isn't really pushing in. We've seen no sign that our team is pushing in. These guys aren't particularly threatened. We've just sort of come in from an obvious angle as well that they are looking at, and we've just popped in above them and we're going, "Hi, justice reigns from above." At a higher level, these guys would, like the Junkrat even, will be able to turn around and nail you with a grenade. The Reinhardt would just turtle up, the Orisa would just kill you. Definitely should have probably started this on the Orisa just because she started with the Discord Orb, and as a sane, rational human being, you would assume that she would keep the Discord Orb for a second or two longer and you'll be able to just blow her up. Like, I mean, it's a good start to it, but definitely got on that first. But because we started on the Reinhardt, sure as shit, we finish it on the Reinhardt. Just because we would have gotten through probably his barrier. We might have even got past it just enough to be able to finish him off there.
Need some heals.
But we kind of got away with murder there, to be honest. And we shouldn't have been able to get away with that. Dealing with the Lucio, fine with. Just want to anticipate that that motion a little bit more. So here, you can see the movement increase when we hit him. His movement speeds increase, so we want to lead accordingly. So you see the Lucio moving a bit faster, so we need to move our crosshair a little bit faster and just go where he's landing. Also, people look the direction that they're going to run, spoiler, so we can easily anticipate Lucio's plan is to probably go in here. So we can be setting ourselves up here for a kill shot. Basically, we've got him low enough now where one direct hit will kill him. We're low enough to the ground where we can ensure it, so our crosshair needs to be more over here. Just in general, if we're trying to hit a moving target, we want to be thinking about a crosshair. If I go, let's go slow-mo again. Speed 2.5, boom. So we anticipate his movement there. He goes back in. He's going towards the wall. Lucio's love thing towards this rocket. It's pretty solid. And that's actually what causes the speed boost. The thing is, we don't adjust accordingly based on that direct hit. and then we sort of dip downwards even though he's still facing this way. He's given us no indication that he's going downwards, so we should, you know, this crosshair motion is a little bit confusing to me. Where we could see he's going this way, and if you're thinking, where's this Lucio going? All signs point over here. Missing the shot, like across here, okay, fair enough, he's changed speed based on our rocket hitting him. But the crosshair dipping down here is just I don't know, strange motion. Oh! Right lock.
Appreciate all the tips made me a better player.
I hope they did. I hope they are helpful. Thank you, Right Lock, for the support, I guess. Good shot on the Tracer. You see how easy it is to kill a Tracer? You see how easy she dies? The thing with Tracer is this, right? She relies on evasion, but it's very hard to evade a Pharah, because Pharah can just sort of... He relies on like dipping in and out of cover and moving around a lot, and if you're just floating in the air, Tracer, she can move all she likes, but you just fire a rocket every time she blinks. She has to blink again, and she runs out of blinks before you run out of rockets. It's kind of simple arithmetic. So you shouldn't have too hard, and she can't deal with you as well. And if she's dealing with another threat, it's just so easy. And suddenly, the thing that was killing our tanks and killing our supports is gone. I like our priority going for the bongo, but we should have been looking to get around the barrier, and especially we shouldn't be looking to drop through it like this, because that's just incredibly greedy. It's a bit unfortunate that we're sort of stuck in the middle here, but we probably should have been looking to drift this way, because if you get over here, you can shoot rockets into the goal, I guess, which would be to get onto the bongo. Doing this dive bomb, especially when we're, you know, out of ammo. Like, I mean, shooting the second rocket is just silly as well. So we get this rocket, we might have done a bit of splash there. The first rocket, okay, fair enough, she dropped the barrier. The second rocket, I'm less keen on. Unless we are staying back just to try and break this as quickly as possible. Otherwise, we want to conserve those rockets to have those when we land down, because otherwise we end up in situations like this where we can reload. We're sort of deciding right now, do we smash the barrier? Okay, if we smash the barrier, then we stay up here and we don't drop down. If we're trying to get round the barrier, then we don't fire, and we try and get past it with as many rockets as possible, because that we're doing ourselves a disservice. With the Junkrat, staying back and shooting the barrier would have worked fine. Good our shadow, we get res. Good target prio there. Good job killing the Lucio. We should be checking for other things we can do at the moment. What's this Orisa doing? Okay, so there's a Tracer jumping around on point. We've just seen her bounce past. What is this Orisa actually doing? Like, what is she actually achieving right now? The answer is not fucking much, to be honest. She's protecting herself, and she's spamming onto the point. And next patch as well, that's going to be even less relevant, but even now, it's not, it's not a big thing. Like, it's really not a threat. And so, us diving on this Orisa, well, there's better things we can be doing, right? We could be getting rid of the contesting Tracer. We could have been helping that. Notice we land a single rocket on it, she dies. And suddenly, we take the point. Hammer down comes through, feels bad, man, but wasted ultimate. Another wasted ultimate, probably. Yep. This is worth mentioning. Like, don't ever fucking do this if you're playing King of the Hill. The goal for the enemy team right there was to get this to 99%. Let's change that color. 99% was the ideal. Okay? This is sort of going back to fundamentals. This is a very important concept to understanding King of the Hill. Their goal was to get this to 99%. Why is 99% so important? Because if you lose a single team fight, you lose the game. How do you lose team fights? Well, the enemy team uses ultimates, uses abilities better than you. Sometimes they'll just outplay you straight up, but quite often it's off the back of something like an Earthshatter comes through and hits 1, 2, 3, probably 1 or 2 behind us. Oh, nice. No, he didn't quite get the Zenyatta. So let's just be conservative and say 3 people got Earthshattered there. 3 people got Earthshattered, barrage goes off, and it's just those 2. And so they instantly lose. So they're trickling in, not doing anything. Junkrat's dead. Good job. Get the Junkrat. Pick up the health back. Good job. We're on the Tracer. Let's knock these guys off. Ace. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. The Reinhardt is baiting like crazy for you. Enemy team... Again, enemy team, like, it's just bent 3 or 4 people. Imagine, okay, this is a good way to explain this. Imagine you are playing a real-time strategy game. You're playing StarCraft, okay? And you got so many resources, you got so many bits and pieces to play around with. And you got a couple of units, and you see that 2 units have sort of broken off, and 2 units have run off to the side of the map. Nowhere important, nowhere necessary to really fight over, nowhere too useful. And your main objective, in the meantime, they've moved incredibly important units away, because this is a very important unit. The main objective is vulnerable. What the worst thing to do would be is to split your units up, right? It would be to go over here with a couple of units and then go over there with a couple of units. Thank you, by the way, Al Awesome Guy. Thank you for the 3 months. Enjoy the shiny badge. The worst thing in the world to do would be to split your army up. You would either go hard on one or go hard on the other. They've just split their army up. And we've just taken advantage of that. We killed 2 people. They've got nothing on the point. They're doing nothing. Now we can punish them even further. And now we can actually be aggressive. Now we can go and do shit. Like, we could still do shit at this point.
Pharah in the back, Pharah above us.
Actually, I'm fine with this changing to this Pharah. But even like this Orisa, or we can even hunt down this Lucio aggressively. Like, we can afford to take a risk or 2 because they've lost so much. We haven't lost anything. We can take a risk or 2 now. We can start keeping the snowball rolling, basically. Fire in the hole. Comes out. Got to be a little bit scared about that. Our Junkrat goes down. Nothing of value was lost. And now this indecision is starting to cost us, right? We get the Justice, though. We haven't had to use Ultimate, so we can swing it back with our ult. Good job. One of those using that. Transcendence is up. Transcendence is a great opportunity for us to do shit. Transcendence basically says, do shit all you like. The only thing that can kill you is a one-shot. Tracer almost gets a one-shot, which is an unusual thing to happen to a Pharah. But we can definitely just keep this Tracer pinned back. This Tracer can't do anything anymore. Like, I don't get why we're backing away from this. This is where I would be going mad. In here is a Tracer and a Lucio. Reinhardt's charged in, Winston's there to deal damage. What's scary to us? Why are we scared? We shouldn't be scared of that. We should be killing that. There should at least be the Lucio in the kill feed right now. And then if the Lucio is dead, imagine how much harder it is for them to take this point. Because they're lacking a healer. And even outside of this fight here, imagine how much easier it will be if their Lucio was just dead. And that's just us not taking that opportunity, not understanding that we have this advantage, that nothing really threatens us, and that we could have gone in there and got an easy kill. Well, Ohm hates Junkrat, yes. Oh god, people are spamming my face. Anyway, we do manage to get the point, but sloppy, a little bit scary. I will also mention again, just like the Pharah v Pharah. I've done this talk a couple of times regarding Pharah versus Pharah. Let's get a good shot of Pharah's. Actually, let's go back one more step. Okay. I want the Pharah when she jump jets, actually. Actually, let's just... So we jump jet into her and we get a good shot. I've actually noticed that this player is actually very good at doing that. So one of the easiest times to get a rocket in... well, completely missed with my arrow. One of the easiest times to get a rocket in is when we have a jump jet, of course. So you jump jet up to the Pharah, you use like the close range path to get an easy shot in, and then you can sort of duke around off the back of that. It's a very good way to get like, so let's say that we're down here and we rocket up, then we can easily smack her with one shot, and because it's an unexpected movement, then we can smack her with a second shot very quickly. It's a good way of doing it. But otherwise, when we're hunting for Pharahs, let's go slow-mo again. I'm on a slow-mo trip. That's quality, not speed. Speed! 2.5. Let's watch her crosshair placement. So we leave the shot there. Okay, fair enough. She's moving down. And then we go way over here. We come back. We snap all the way across her body. We almost get a shot there. We fire under her, even though she's going up. She's still going up, and we're still under her. Way off on that one. And then we're forced into a reload. So let's go back over this. Okay, so we can see the Pharah's path. And the thing with Pharah's is this. The way I see it is Pharah's hitbox is basically like this shape. And I will try and have my crosshair either... Actually, let's do it in a different color. So I see Pharah as a box. Technically, she's actually more like a triangle. That's sort of Pharah's hitbox. Anyway, beside the point. That's more for Widowmaker. But with Pharah's, you want to aim here, 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 or here. And this is my general rule of thumb. Because basically if the Pharah is moving up and left, you want to aim up here. If she's moving up and right, you aim up here. And so on, so on, so on. It's just a good sort of guide to figure out whereabouts your crosshair should be. And so in this case, we can see that she's moving up and left. And she's also next to a wall, which is ridiculously important. And that's why this rocket here hurts me so much in the soul. Because you have the easiest kill in the world. Where this Pharah has to get away from this wall. She's been drifting this way consistently. And she's on 30, 32 hit points, maybe. One even near hit will kill her. That gives us an easy option, right? Like, the easiest option in the world. Because we just have to put the crosshair here. If she keeps drifting this way, she'll fly into it. If she keeps drifting this way, she'll fly closer to the wall that it'll deal damage regardless. The fact that it's down here means that she's drifting away from where the rocket impact is going to happen. As such, the rocket does no damage. Now she's even closer to the wall, and she's drifting up this way. And she's going to be forced with the groove of the wall as well, so she's going to be going like this way. So we definitely want to get our crosshair up and ahead of her so that she is forced to drop down. If she stays here, she dies. And so we want to be getting that crosshair leading the target a little bit. Unfortunately, we seem to rush the shot and we just fire it way off, which is something that we really can't afford to do with Pharah versus Pharah. We want to be calculating our shots a little bit more. And then suddenly, you know, she's broken away from us, and now we're just trying to sort of play catch up. Anyway, onwards. Onwards, onwards, onwards. I need some coffee. Oh. Beautiful. Fine with us changing to the Reinhardt. We definitely, in this instance, it's actually worth mentioning, we definitely should be helping with this Reinhardt just because we can get up and over him very easily and just deal damage to him in a big chunky way that other people won't be able to do. Other people can deal with the Arisa and stuff like that. Deal with those threats.
Nice.
I see.